You are greeted to sort of a large antechamber, like a welcoming chamber, which is spotless. It is decorated. There are like soft furnishings around, and of the places all of you have seen, like some of you maybe ever, it is like austere enough to be practical, but there's some soft furnishings that seem to have come in, and you hear the hard shoes on like hard floors as the Baron Tide Moonlight walks over and is like, I must admit, I was not expecting this so soon, but please, you're welcome. Welcome to Ember Roost. Please, let me take coats. There's a rack over here.
Thank you very much for your last-minute hospitality.
Elwyn absolutely does not take a coat off.
Yeah.
Just an axe just on
like,
the move.
fully axe, just still like axe strapped to her back.
Oh, yeah.
And great axe, and just she's still loaded.
Penn is still around, and there are guards around for sure. He's not inviting strangers into his house without personal protection, but he is totally relaxed. You enter this antechamber, and there is a very impressive staircase that goes upwards and spreads outwards and begins to disappear down into the keep as a whole. And at this point, you see Tide comes over to you as all, and I'm slightly taken aback. I was not quite expecting guests, but I can perhaps talk to the kitchen staff and see if we can rustle up perhaps a dinner for us all if you are hungry. We have not yet eaten yet, so you'd be, welcome to join us. It would be bigger than I was expecting, but I think we shouldn't be any problems.
Only if it's no imposition.
Oh, no, not at all. Penn, if you would not mind perhaps showing them to some of the guest quarters upstairs and situating them so they feel comfortable, and then bring them down and we can perhaps introduce them to some of our guests. So Penn walks you all. You are being walked around with some guards at this point. You have been entered into a very big keep as well. You get the sense, there's an outer wall to this. There is, military placement. It seems like it's a place where perhaps if Florin was attacked, people could retreat to. Mm-hmm. Gives you that sense. But it has been left abandoned for some time. And as you walk around, you see a number of doors that are just shut and just bolted over, as if don't bother about that wing, we'll come back to it later. They're kind of jobby. So work in progress on this. But you are all taken to rooms, however you wish to be stabled.
Yeah, I think we do the same as before, where we're each with a ward.
Sure. All right. So you are paired up, and
I think I just go to Tamwin.
Okay. But you are placed in they're austere but stone walls. There is and it's a bed, and it is a nicer bed than the inn. So, all with windows to the outside, it's not dungeon. It is sort of situated up high, looking down upon Florin, the keep itself. But yes, you can acquit yourselves, and the four delinquents sort of take their coat off, and you just see there's a bit more breathing going on, a bit more okay, you're a story up, it's stone walls, it's it's that sort of thing. So
well, Conley, time to find a library.
Should we go looking?
Yes.
Okay. Bodyguard.
Oh.
Can I help you?
We'd love to have a guest. I'm a guest. And a guest would love to see the library. The guest being this guest. Oh, Sisyphus Jones.
Very well, Mr. Jones. I'm sure the Baron would be keen. It's a personal library, but if you ask him, I'm sure he would be perhaps convinced to show you around if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Fantastic. Where is he?
Downstairs, last I checked.
Lead the way, good fellow.
Very well.
Don't worry, I won't put reins on you. We'll just follow behind.
And sort of heads over whilst also still looking, like, not like being like, follow me, and then just walks off and you're like, okay, let's go. Like, this is a pro. So they're like, come on. And sort of walks with you. Yeah. So it's not like it's very much like, you get the like, this is an armed person, but who's also very much here to assist, but also, you know, like, you're strangers in a big house. You know.
Yeah. I'm not paranoid. This feels sensible.
You head down. You three, what are you doing?
Eowyn just turns to Flint and Tamwin in their room and just says, keep sharp. It's probably fine, but keep sharp. Okay?
Do you want me to go have a look-see?
What's outside? Oh.
I'm just around.
How discreet can you be? I mean, you're invisible, so...
So you've never seen them go invisible.
Okay.
That was the assassin who...
Oh, okay, so they can't go invisible, but they can...
Yeah, they're like,
pretty...
I can, you know... Oh, they're at the toilet.
Can they not disappear? I thought they disappeared when one of us was hunting were-rabbits.
They disappeared from your sight.
Oh, yeah. That's more of a me thing.
Yeah,
that's mad. I really thought they just disappeared into thin air.
Yeah. That's what it seemed like. They've done really well to get to episode this and figure that out.
Don't, if you get caught, feign ignorance.
No, just looking for, you know...
Anything interesting you hear about, I don't know, the Empire. Orvos. Anything that might seem a bit shifty. Anything about those people who came after us.
Yeah, I'm liking this.
Any of that?
I'm liking this. Yeah. Got it. I am feeling unwell.
Just be ready. And she leaves her great axe behind.
Okay.
And her battle axe behind.
All right.
But she's still got a secret axe. It's not very secret, but secret
the die-hard axe is behind you.
Yeah. It's very die-hard.
She's going to dinner in a winter coat. Can't quite sit down.
Yeah.
It's just very cold.
Okay, so you and Flint are headed down. You are being led down, and in the same situation, there is someone just waiting to help.
Yeah.
Like, just welcoming you down to dinner.
Yeah, it's dinner time now-ish.
Yeah, like, you could head down. I would say you had, like, 10-15 minutes. But you head down to dinner, where Tide is there. It is not like a big, formal dining table. It seems like you're in the kitchen. You're led, like, through into the belly of it, where they're actually just round, like, a big, like... It's a big table, but it seems like it might be where, you know, the kitchen staff might eat. It's not like a grand, like, dining room you would expect. Sure. And you're led in there. You see, like, a couple of chefs just having, like, a glass of wine and just chatting, and Tide is just talking to them, and they're having a bit of a laugh. But, like, you get in there, and there's two other individuals also there. You see a man who's, you know, maybe in his, I said 70s earlier, but I think it's probably 60s, with long grey hair sort of going over the back, slightly receding, and in sort of clerical robes. This makes sense to be Thesis Lightbrook, as this sort of old man with like a glass of red wine, you know, just and having a good listen. Oh, very good. And then another elderly person, but a very old elf, agedly looking old as well, which all of you are probably familiar enough with elves to know that this person is probably very old. Hard features, like long hair sort of pulled backwards, like small little beard with a great big scar sort of going from one eye sort of over. But very much sort of the traditional lithe elven like appearance, but old and in very like nice clothes, like the civilians' clothes for sure.
And that's Sir Alistair.
You would take it to be these two people who are very much like, you know, in a sort of relaxed environment. But as you are all brought in, and Tide's like, my guest, additional guest, thank you, please, please meet the rest of the party. I am so sorry, we would normally try to do this in the formal dining room, but your arrival has somewhat rushed the stuff, and I didn't want to put them out. So we're just going to eat in here tonight, if that is okay with all of you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Please grab seats. The cutlery's over there. It's very informal. I apologize. But dinner will be ready in perhaps 10, 15 minutes. But if you'd like a drink, I believe Chef has opened a bottle. Enjoy.
Thank you. Visera happily goes and gets a drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and here comes with you.
She's feeling very happy here.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else?
To Tide?
Just to sort of, I think she goes up to one of the chefs, goes, have you got anything else, anything harder to drink?
I mean, yeah, like, what are you after? Like, Baron stuff or our stuff?
No, your stuff.
Oh, yeah, we got, like, a few whiskies and...
Great. Can I have a bit?
Just you see them just going like over a little side and out it comes. It's just like and just like grabs like another glass, just gives you like a healthy pour and just like, there you go.
Thanks.
Anything that I might digest in the mind?
Who are you talking to?
The room. I've sat on a chair. I'm rocking back, and I'm speaking openly.
My dear fellow, is this you? So familiar. Are you asking for edibles?
Oh, I had no idea they were available. But no, Connolly is sort of soft constitution in his brain, and I wouldn't want to turn mush to soup. So instead, I will digest something with rigidity, structure, perhaps in verse.
Tide's eyes go. A bard? A silver tongue, perhaps, but formal training?
Oh, sir, the highest kind. 3 years at Barda.
Every time. I know we said it before, but I've yet to give you inspiration, so just take it. Very good. Yeah, I mean, like, I will say at this point that Thesis has a slight little... That's very good. I have actually seen a few of their performances once upon a time. The touring crew in second year, yes? They travel around.
Yes, what did you see?
Oh, you're stretching the mind of an old man now.
There's no rush.
No, it has been about 3 decades, so...
Oh, that's slightly before my time.
Oh, I do apologize, but it was very good,
It's got a high standard. I mean, it's dropped recently, but,
The classics are done. I sometimes wish they would, throw them forward and do something new, but...
Yes, or write something new, even.
Even that?
But I do enjoy reading some of the older texts.
As Tide is involved in this conversation, it sort of says, you are... Sorry, a performer as well? So you're training. Could you perhaps... I hate to intrude, but it has been some time since I have heard true artistry. If you were at all interested, there is a small performance space that I have made one of my utmost efforts so that I may bring guests and have a bit of culture out in here.
Yes, Sisyphus, play your lute for us.
Oh, the lute is... Unfortunately, my lute has been recently damaged. But, I could play the human heart.
I would be very eager to hear what this might be. Perhaps you could take us all and tell us a story.
I know. I mean, putting me on the spot like this, but yes, we could go now. We could go now, before dinner, after dinner, during dinner.
The chef is like, come on, like, we're nearly there. After dinner? Maybe?
I will feed them with my story. I'm sorry. I'm overexcited. I would love to taste your art.
Thank you.
That's a weird
A Renaissance man.
Yeah. Stew, yeah. It's at this point the chef starts like pouring bowls and begins to be passed out and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so you can take some bowls and sit down to soup. Well, it's not soup, it's more like a stew, like a hearty stew with some like bread that has been like freshly coming out of an oven. Freshly, would it be fresh at this point? How long does bread take to cook? It's being warmed, re-warmed in an oven.
There we go, lovely.
I make bread.
Word painting.
Yeah. So you can all sit down to dinner. Is there anything that you'd like to do with these people present?
I will sit down and talk to the old elf.
The old elf. Okay. Yep. Hello, Sir Alistair. Pleasure.
Aldrich, good to meet you.
Do you shake the hand?
Yes, I'll shake. Oh, yeah, I'll shake the hand.
Good handshake. So, what brings you to Florin, friend?
Well, I have some work here, and I brought my companions with me to carry out some of this work. We work together.
Very well. What is your means of employment, if you don't mind my asking?
Of course not. I help and support and aid families with younger folk who've not been into the wilds and therefore need some extra training and challenge.
Ah. Ranger by training.
Absolutely. Well spotted.
I've travelled a fair bit across rural environments. Your kind are most sought after, so I commend you.
Ah, very good. May I ask you a couple of questions while we're here?
Certainly. Polite dinner conversation.
Where have you come from? What to come here tonight? And what reason are you here?
Well, I've been staying with Tide for a little bit of time. I have business in Orvos, you see. I've been travelling a great distance from eastern parts, travelling through the Violet Concord, and need to avail myself of Orvos and, meet some old acquaintances. It's been many decades since we have touched base, and, well, time feels as if it can slip through my fingers. Next thing you know, a friend of mine has had half their life, and for me, it's been a short moment.
Of course. I understand. And have you had much involvement with the Empire?
The Empire? No. I am from further east. I hail from the Amber Consortium.
Ah.
Have you heard of it?
Only briefly on my travels.
Right.
Please, tell me more about the Amber Consortium.
It is a collection of guilds and interests, really. I have served my guild family for many centuries.
Which guild family is this?
I've been steward of House Athelmine for a number of centuries.
And what are the other guilds like?
The other guilds?
Yes.
Well, there's... however many trades you can hope to name, there will likely be a guild tasked with the organisation and delivery of its services.
And you all work together in harmony?
No. There is, as with all large political entities, something of infighting and posturing, as it were.
Of course.
Roll a history check for me, please.
Not 20!
Wow. No way!
Yes!
Okay, wow. You get the full fucking works. Oh my god. Okay, so, House Athelmine, you would know, to be one of the oldest, and it's a very old guild, because it's not actually a guild. The House Athelmine was an old family that when what is now the Amber Consortium went through change into being run almost entirely by the guilds. So it used to be a collection of kingdoms and states, but due to external pressures onto their sort of collective, they were nearly destroyed by invaders. So they borrowed a shit ton of money from the guilds. Transport guilds, hospitality guilds, all these trades, like... not really unions, but in like more interests on behalf of various parts of industry, essentially. And they borrowed an incredible amount of money. And they only realized too late that they had borrowed too much money and they could essentially never pay it back. So in essence, these are kingdoms which have a figurehead, but really the guilds and organizations express enormous power over a very commercial entity which collectively is bandied together as the Amber Consortium. But what you know from House Athelmine is that it's an extremely old house. It is one of... Well, it originally was the maker of fine swords and weaponry, of that kind. But it later went into mass production of saws and things like that, because the Amber Consortium and the land of it is actually quite hilly, and it used to be very deciduous. So cutting to make roads was incredibly good business a few centuries ago. So they rose to a real position of power, and thus they own a significant portion of the guild that they are a part of. So you probably know that. You probably know about that because the Empire and the Amber Consortium do not get along at all. They are perpetually concerned about each other. So this is very much someone who is not a part of the Empire, who is staying with the Baron under his roof as his guest. Anybody else?
I feel like Visera's kind of just wanting to not talk to that many people. So she's just kind of sat with Enya, silently eating her soup and drinking wine.
Okay.
Elwyn's down the end of the table getting pissed with the chefs.
Yeah, great. I love it.
She's having a really nice time.
Yeah.
She's found her people. She was very stressed coming into this room. She's trying to keep as far away from the elf man as possible. And she's just having a nice time with the chefs.
Roger that. As you are sort of sat there, Thesis will sort of come over, like sit the other side of the table and say,
young lady, I hope you don't mind, but I am fascinated by your hair.
Yes, many people are. Thank you.
It's rather striking.
It is.
How, if you don't mind my asking, I've never seen in all my years anything like it. Is it by birth? Is it by gift?
It is by birth.
Oh. Very well. I won't press. My apologies.
Not at all. It's a pleasure to meet you. Where do you hail from?
Oh, that is originally, I have travelled a long way in my services to the faith, but I was born to the city of Hinode. Twin cities of Hinode and Svalbard. Right in the heart.
Lovely. And, what brings you here to Florin?
I have spent a very long time wandering the bounds of the Empire, trying to, well, do a little, bring the faith how it could come. And I have realized that there is an awful lot of administration that gets in the way of anything actually happening. So I retired from my commission, as after 50 years of service I was allowed to do, and I've taken it upon myself to come to some of these wider parts, newer parts of the Empire, and try to speak directly.
So you are a missionary?
Of sorts, yes, yes. I know I'm something of a radical, but if you say this in Hinode, they look at you like you're a heretic. But we all know there's a few other gods out there. It's just everyone pretends Sol is the only one. And I think Sol is rather good. Personally, it's been very good to me. and serve me well. I hope that I have brought light to his sphere, and that when it is my time, he may accept me into his past, and I will pass on to the other realm. But I also know, and we know, that there are others, and perhaps the Empire, in its need for order and structure in the vastness of its expanse, has been too firm.
Visira's eyes light up. She's like, wow. Do you not find that you're putting yourself slightly at danger travelling and preaching such diversity?
I do, but I have only started out here, and there's a reason that I'm not in Hinode shouting this from the rafters. You know Hinode to be the capital of the Empire. But he says, I knew the young Baron when he just started. The two of us did a couple of good pieces of work together, and I thought we did well, but you know politics. 1 minute good, next minute stab in the back. What can we do? I can only do my work and spread my message. So when he accepted this new commission and left the politics behind after that unfortunate business, I thought I should go and see an old friend and see whether this might be a better place to start my radical work, as it were. So I have come out here, and I look to branch around and talk to that idiot down in town about how they're preaching the light of soul. They need to sort it out. I'm going to talk to them about that.
How fascinating.
And what of you? How has Soul's light touched you?
Yes, of course, I am incredibly devout, as we all are, to Sol.
So first make a deception check for me, please.
Oh, that's 5.
Okay.
Oh, -1, so that's a 4. That's fine. We're in trusted companies. I trust him.
And he looks at you and he's like, it doesn't say anything to the room. You clock that.
I applaud your work, is all I'm going to say. And, I'm inspired by it.
Well, if there's something I'd like to do, it's inspire young people to do the right thing. So, I guess I'm on the right path if I bumped into you. Now you, he just sort of he's sort of working his way
I
around,
like him.
and he's just like, your hair is on fire, and then just like, and like he is doing that, like, work my way down, like
Looks to the little frog.
yeah. I don't know what to do with this. I'll come back to it.
Tongue on eye.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But he's very much like, old man, like, I don't care. I'm just going to work my way down. It's so much easier. I don't need to, like, bounce around the room. And it's just like, I'm going to talk to everyone. I'm going to start here and I'm going to work my way down.
Sure.
So he's doing that. But dinner is served and you are all sort of, bowls are taken. And it, you know, you can decide for yourselves how they might take a meal like this in the chef's kitchen, not in a dining room and everything I've just described. It's up to you. But bowls are taken back, chucked in a big basin, and the chefs begin to work. And Tide is like, no, come on, we leave it. We'll do it later. We have a performance. Come listen. He's like, now, if I believe I have only just taken the dust covers off, I am very intrigued to see what we may do in here. Everyone, please follow me, and you head up into the first floor, where you are led through like a locked door, down a little corridor and into another locked door. It seems like this is very much like not been an opened part yet. But as you walk over, it is a small, private amphitheatre. And it is clearly a hosting space for performances of some kind to come to the keep and for people to sit and see traveling performers. But you are all sort of led in, and it is like, we are trying to get cushions. I apologize. At the moment, it is just the bleachers. But if, take a moment, let us give our performer just a moment, perhaps, to peruse his stage, as it were.
I'm going to lightly tread onto the boards of the stage with the relish of someone who, stepping home for the first time since childhood.
Hearing that squeak.
Yeah. Feeling the spring.
And there's a ghost light on.
Just a candle.
Yeah.
Which you look at it and you're like, that wick has never gone down, and it's an ever burning flame.
Yeah.
It always keeps
Thank
the ghost
God I
light
don't have a
on.
beard.
Yeah. But what you see over to one side is a sort of throw covered over, a device maybe like this tall, and it's got a dust sheet completely over it, over on the stage to sort of one side. As you step onto the boards.
Oh, yes. I step out onto those boards.
Mm-hmm. Do you go to see it? Or do you leave?
See what, sorry?
You see something is covered in a dust throw.
On the stage.
On the stage.
I'm going to gesture to it and look at Tide as if to say, may I?
If you can, I would be delighted.
That kind of frightens. I'm like, what's the... so can I see what the shape looks like?
You would be familiar with a harp, which is covered in a dust sheet as you approach it.
So I know it's a harp.
You do.
Oh, I'm sorry, my sire. The harp is not an instrument that I have the skill in. I am trained on the lute and on the flute and many other things that similarly rhyme, but unfortunately the only instrument I have prepared with me is my oration.
Ah, very well. Perhaps you could stand and deliver.
Perhaps some verse. I have been penning something on the road these past few days.
Fairly well, everybody. As you sit and stand and look. As you stand on the stage and you look out to the audience and you remember the first time that you saw a performance. It has been some time, but you flash back to a very young Sisyphus Joan. Your tail is just about to fall off. You are young, but you age quickly as well. So the tail is, I guess it would be teenage years. This tail's still there, and you keep kind of shaking it, being like, it's gonna fall off. And come on, just not today. But the whispers have gone round the whole pond. There's a theatre troupe here. There's a theatre troupe. Yeah, they're from outside, and they've come, in the woods. It's like 2 over, and you have gone to your father, Barnabas, to ask whether you and your brothers and sisters and siblings can go, can have some gold, have some silver, let's be fair, to go and see the theatre show. So you approach your father.
I in the doorway, knock at the doorway of his workroom, I suppose.
Enter.
Father, there are signs in the town square saying that the theatre troupe is coming to town, and I was wondering if maybe as a family we could go.
To what, my boy?
Just to see the story at the theatre.
The story.
Yes.
Why would we have need to go to the stories?
Well, Uncle says that...
Your uncle! And he turns at this point. What has that delinquent been putting into your mind now?
Well, no, nothing. He just answered my questions. I asked why the stories were so popular, and he said because they help people understand what they're feeling.
Your uncle's time abroad has brought ill discipline to the pond.
I know you... I think if you spoke to him again, maybe we could go together.
The time of my brother and I acting as equals has long passed. The answer is no. Get back to work.
Well, what if...
I said go! And you know, with your dad, this is never going to work. You walk out to your other siblings who are listening at the door, all 17 of them, just hoping.
What did he say?
There's no more tickets for sale at the theatre.
Oh,
They're sold out.
what? Brother,
I know.
I thought we could go.
I tried, but Father said he checked and there's no more seats available.
Deception check, please.
22.
Okay. Thanks, Sissy. At least we tried.
And you walk away and you see your siblings. And you see one of your younger sisters grabs your hand. It's like, a few years younger than you and seemingly much smaller. It's like,
I heard at the door. Why did you say that?
Father is... Perhaps he can learn to be kinder by the time you're my age, and you can go, but right now, perhaps I can speak to Uncle and see if he'll take us, just me and you. If we keep it a secret.
Okay.
Okay, well you wait here, I'll sneak off.
okay.
I mean, go do the work.
I could do the right too.
Okay.
Okay, so you sneak off down a familiar path that you have done over the years pretty consistently. You know this path. You know how to get outside the outsides of the fly farm. And the ways in which that even now there are non-Bullywug people around the outsides of it, keeping watch on their investment, ensuring that nothing comes in and nothing comes out, which is not accounted for, recorded, balanced. But you know, this is your pond. Mm-hmm. You know it. And you go bounding off, boing, 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 down little ways away, which, for Bullywog folk, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes out of the pond, it's quite away from home. But you hop down to the edge of a different lake. This is not the pond that has been curated and, particularly in recent years, regimented. The corners cut in, much more like maximizing perfect space, where you get to the edge of a small natural lake with a willow just bowing over the top of this lake, and your uncle's shack is built into the side of it. And you boing, 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 boing. And you get close and you hear the crickets and the flies going past, natural ones, not farmed ones.
Not a Jones fly.
But it's not like force-fed and
wild fly.
Yeah, it's a wild fly. Yeah. But you hop round to the corner where the little jetty out, and you see, sat in his chair, rod in hand, Uncle Hopper is sat.
You never catch anything.
Sisyphus!
I'm just saying, you never catch anything, so I don't know why you try.
It is the trying that matters. It is. Right, the thing.
So he's just hit you with the side of it, like the float is still all the way down there, and he's like,
You're much better at that.
And what brings you down to this
Well,
part of the...
Speaking of the trying, I am trying to go to the theatre. See the stories.
the theatre?
I was wondering if I could borrow a silver piece. So I could go.
And what does your father have to say about this?
I can't remember.
Sisyphus.
He wasn't. He lacked positive reinforcement on the idea.
Hopper looks at you with just a... You sure you've never left the pond?
I've read books.
Where did you get them from? Like, come here, have a sip. And you sit on the edge with both your feet just dangling in the water. And he sort of, it's like, Sisyphus, your father and I are of the pond. We are of our brood, and nothing will take that away. But there comes a time where you have to be true to your heart. And he may not like it. And there may be consequences because of it. Now, if you make this choice, like I did a long time ago now, can you live with it?
As long as I'm better at fishing.
Well, you're not wrong about that. And he pulls the float out and it's got nothing on it. Not today. And he just puts it to the side and reaches into sort of like, he's basically got like shorts, or like torn high shorts. That's all he needs to wear. Like, he's out there. He pulls out a little pouch and reaches in, jingle, 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 and pulls out 3 gold pieces. This is a lot of money. Your father's bookkeepers are all like locked away. Yeah, you don't have access to any of the gold. Remember to have fun as well.
You say follow your heart. If I just do what Dad says, I won't have one. Because he doesn't. I'd rather be shit at fishing like you.
Well, I'm not that bad. I'm just waiting. You gotta learn something, even in your old age. If I'd learned when I was your age, I'd be very good at fishing. Go on. You'll miss them. Tell Lady Calliope I say hello.
Who's Lady Calliope?
Now that, my boy, is a tale for another time. And he chucks it forward.
All the good stories end like that. Thank you.
Better hurry. Start soon. Boom, 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 boom. Flash forward to you have just gone straight there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've probably... you tell me. Do you go back? You have enough for a few of your siblings.
I'm going to go back to the house. And I'm going to call on all my siblings that I know ain't snitches. All of the people, all the siblings that don't always fall in line, all the ones that are the last in the queue for the slop at lunch or whatever.
Make an insight check for me, to be sure.
18.
Feel pretty good about that?
I'm going to get like a reed, put it under my arm, like a British officer, and walk up and down our bedroom.
Gathered you here to liberate not your bodies but your minds. We're going to the theatre, and Father isn't going to find out. Is he? No. I said, is he? No. You're goddamn right. God's damn right.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Now,
Guess it's plural!
somehow, we're going to have to get together the money to go.
Oh,
And if we could only find it, whoever had it would be a hero.
it really would be.
Would really be a saviour.
Such a saviour.
Would really get you out of this sticky situation. Yeah, and you'd have to give them all your pudding whenever he wanted it.
Yes,
Luckily,
sir.
I'm that person.
Yay!
And we'll share the pudding. Let's go!
Okay, stealth checks, please.
19.
The flashback continues. You do sneak past, and you know the ways. Like, this is your pond. And, like, try and stop teenagers doing anything, right? It's not going to happen. But I'm going to say that a grand total of 9 siblings, including yourself. Boing, 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 boing. You bounce away. And it takes you, like, probably say 40, 45 minutes to get to town. Why do you need to go to, like, People Place? Nah. But you get to People Place, and you, the big reed under your arm, walking through, you come across a large field, and in the center, a giant, great tent. And people of all kinds, queuing and coming from various places. You see, you know, like, it's on the outskirts of town, so you don't actually have to go into town itself, but various people coming to this pop-up wild theatre. You go ahead. 9 silver is asked for.
I have to stand on my brother's shoulders. We have to form like a little humanoid out of all of us to get to the ticket booth.
Oh, hi there. Oh, look at you all down there. That's great. Here to see the show.
9 tickets, please.
9 tickets. That would be 9 silver pieces, please.
I've got 3 gold, and that means
I'll
give you 1.
You give me 1.
And you give me 2 silver pieces.
Almost.
3 silver pieces, then, please.
Okay, there's 1 silver piece back, and let's just get you in there. Go on. Yeah, don't try and swindle the theatre folk. Yeah, he's like, fucking communist. You venture in, and you sit around and sort of raise little wooden bleachers.
I put my sister on my lap.
Describe for me the first piece of theatre that a Sisyphus sees, and that launches him on the journey that will take him to Barda, that will take him through everything that else happens, and eventually to Florin.
It's the story about a nobleman's son who falls in love with a woman that works on a ship. And he tells his father, and his father forbids him from seeing this woman because she's a commoner and because there's a negative association with people that work at sea. And it comes to it kind of boils to a head, and much like, he's a young nobleman, and his romance burns hot, and he forgoes his family fortune, but he realizes that he's not in love with the woman, he's in love with the sea and the ship. And he sets to sea, and that's it. It's him leaving and him shirking off his title and finally taking a new name in his own name and making his own life.
The performance comes to a close. Is it a drama, sort of slight melancholy tragedy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are that moment with live performance where a room full of people, an entire tent of people, is just waiting for one more word. They're just waiting for this story not to close, but you know it has to. Mm-hmm. And you can hear the just of people trying so hard not to cry loud because it's just so beautiful, this moment, before the covers of the candles come down. It is dark, and applause. The first time you have ever heard applause en masse as an expression of an audience's need to say something having been spoken to for so long, they must then say something back. And you hear feet on rafters and applause which lasts, and people standing. So you lift up your sister so that she can see, and you can't even see that, but you can feel that visceral energy. And as you exit, you're forever changed. And there is a woman sort of saying, "Oh, thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Very kind. Thank you. Please come again. We'll be here all week. Then moving on." And you hear someone sort of say, "Calliope, a word." And someone comes running over, and so you are being sort of shepherded out.
I'm grabbing all my siblings and bringing them with me, and I'm going to go to this woman.
Okay. So you press on ahead. You reach up upon this person, maybe mid to late 40s, like striking red hair, just a very striking woman who would have played parts, but is now running the troupe. Mm-hmm. And they're sort of, "Thank you so much, we so appreciate it. Thank you for coming." And they're just very graciously saying, thanks to everyone sort of coming through. And you beeline there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you,
Dude.
hello?
Oh!
Down here.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Hello, there's so many. Oh, hello.
Hello. My uncle says hello as well. His, Hopper. Uncle Hopper. Hopper Jones. With a silent D.
Hopper. Oh, my... Hello. What? How is he? What a darling.
He's shit at fishing.
He's taken up fishing?
Well, that's what he says, but I wouldn't count it.
Well, I mean, he can swing a broadsword. I'm not sure he can swing a fishing
He can swing a rod, he just doesn't get any fish with it.
Okay. Well, hello. What is your name?
Sissy, but what, Sisyphus?
Oh, Sisyphus.
Mm.
A pleasure to meet you, oh, Sisyphus. Oh, how can I help you?
I need, I don't know how to say it, but I need to do that.
You need to, do you?
Yeah. When can I start?
Make a persuasion check for me.
17.
Well, we aren't here for very long.
I can pay.
Oh.
I have 2 gold pieces and 1 silver piece.
No, you shouldn't have to. This is a traveling company. I mean, have a think about it. But we're here all week. We leave in 6 days, so I understand you are in need to do this. You seem rather young, if I don't misjudge.
But if my uncle started fishing when he was my age, he'd be really good. So if I start doing this now, I'll be really good.
Maybe you would. Maybe we could just show you behind the curtain for the night. Esmeralda, and she calls over to one side where you see a young girl of like raven black hair, maybe 16, 17, who's been like taking tickets and stuff. Yes? And you lock eyes with Esmeralda for the first time. Jumping back to being on the stage.
Oh, that was beautiful, guys.
You stand on a stage for the first time in years. The boards should have been tapped down a bit better. There's a little creaky spot here. I know not to avoid that, but make a wisdom saving throw for me.
19.
The butterflies is not a vice. It isn't wire. They are butterflies that need to let loose. The dryness on your mouth and in on your skin is excitement, ready to release. What do you perform?
So, sorry, I'm composed. I lost my book in a moving house fire, which is about as bad as it sounds. But I do remember some, and I will share it with you. 1 second, and like if I can pull out like a napkin from the pub that I've managed to like get some of it onto from memory.
With that wisdom saving throw, yes.
I'm going to read this now. No, I'm no excuses. No excuses.
Also, I'm not forcing you to be a dancing monkey. If you don't want to improvise something or like...
No, I've got
Okay, great.
Got something.
Perfect.
Thank you, though.
Right, yeah.
Oh my God.
I was about to ask you to roll a dice, but...
And then I kill it, right? Right?
Go ahead.
So he stands there and he reads off his piece of paper. Suppose I didn't write this alone, I suppose. My companions have helped me in some way, large or small. My principle, my sword. My heart, my shield. My armor is rusted, but my wounds will heal. My word, my weapon, my meaning, my gift. It is the dark heart that threatens, that under light shifts. I will rally to the banner of every downtrodden soul. I will go to war till you are stripped of everything you stole. For freedom some die, blood does spill, but the sacrifice feeds the earth that our children till. Feed their hope, enrich their dreams. Not every tomorrow is as dark as it seems.
That was Ethan Reed as Sisyphus Jones, Lizzie Wofford as Aylwyn, Rebecca Hansen as Visera, Ross Green as Aldrich, and Jack Collard as everyone else. The series was recorded by Carlos Baptista de Lima and BlairTan. It was edited and designed by Jack Collard with additional music and sound from Michael Ghelfi Studios. The theme and credits music were composed by Odin Orn Hilmarsson. Fable of Shadow is a Phoenix Fables production, and it was supported by Kayla Delcoure as the company manager, Miranda Barril as the project lead, Cherry as the illustrator, and Vanna Reader, Maz, and Casey Powers as the transcription team. This show is dedicated to Penny. I can't thank you enough, but thank you, Penny. If you want to learn more about what Phoenix Fables is all about, come join our community, otherwise known as The Flock, on our Discord. We have community events, live streams on Twitch, and much more coming to get your beak into. And if you want to help the show, please follow our socials at Phoenix Fables Online on whichever platform you choose to use. Next episode will be live in 2 weeks' time. We'll see you then.